Right.
Yeah. Make sure it's going live. So there, Matt, not Matt. Oh yeah, we're live. Okay.
Talk.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
I gotta make it a little bit.
I know Jeff Hallish was saying that he was having some issues with the live broadcast, but we are live right now.
Talk a little bit.
Test 1 2 3. Testing 1 2. This is Geeksters episode 178, the show where we talk about all things geeky.
All right, that sounds good. Even you can hear me for once. I think.
I can hear you. All right.
Testing 1, Mitch. Testing 2. Hello.
Hello. Good day, Governor.
Hello, mate. Dingo, Stone. Oh, bye. All right.
What about Tim?
What about Tim?
Say a couple words, Tim, so I can.
Couple words, Tim.
Actually, you are louder than you.
We got to get Tim a new microphone.
No, Tim needs to get his happy little home back.
You are louder than normal. Did you do something?
I'm sitting very close to it. Maybe I'll.
Did you?
I did not. No, I didn't do anything.
Did you see the email?
What?
I guess you didn't see the email.
Nope.
No, Martin will tell you.
Well, there's an email. I can read it. They mentioned your audio, so I'm not sure you want me to read it on the air.
No, who's they?
This one person.
A fan.
A fan.
Well, no, that's okay. So, like, what do they need me to do?
They just wanted. They're just commenting on the fact that your audio sometimes is really quiet.
I think it was a her, wasn't it? Wasn't it she?
It was a she.
And she's saying stuff that you know what to do. I mean, it's like
Okay.
You don't know what to do, but
I will be more conscious.
I mean, I would try that. Are you still on Windows 10?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
So you never went back.
I'm getting real close to load the box back up the way it was, so I could be happy again.
Well, you probably had some updates since then. I would try the mic again. It might work again. You might work all right the next time.
Can you hang around a few minutes after the show? Because only you heard on that end, it was fine. I couldn't hear a problem over here, so I would need you to tell me if I plugged.
I would. I mean, if you want to, yeah.
After the show, okay. Well, after the show, just take a couple minutes. We'll see. I don't want to do it now because I'd like to trail off and.
See, is it like it dies off? That mic, it dies off.
Well, I was backing away from it.
Yeah.
I was backing away.
I guess that would.
You know what? That's a woman complain because I've never had a woman complain about not being able to hear me.
That's it. Yeah, but that's in person.
I've had a lot of women complain that they could still hear me, but that's.
Or I had a lot of women complain that said they didn't want to hear me.
Yeah, right. Well, that's that was a cheap shot for being live. So.
All right, Martin. I'm
recording.
That's
the thing I talked about before the show. Come on, Tim. Be a jerk before we're live.
Sorry.
You can go whenever you want to.
Hey everybody, welcome to Geeksters episode 178. This is a show where we talk about all things geekery. If it's got a computer in it, we're probably going to talk about it. From iPhones to iPads to Android devices to, gosh, what is that? The kid computers that broke. VTech. I was trying from Apple to VTech. We will talk about it on Geeksters. I'm Martin Obando, one of the co-hosts here, joined by my two fellow awesome men of men, if you will, Mitch Heyman, Tim Bauermeister. Hey, Tim, how's it going?
I'm good, baby. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I see you're wearing your Steelers hats. Your Steeler hat. That's a tradition. Are you bummed that football's over?
No. I love football, but when it ends, you know what starts?
Softball, baby.
Oh, well, yeah, that too.
Oh gosh,
baseball.
Okay, hockey, crocheting.
Look, I mean, I've got football,
track.
I've got playoffs. I've got Super Bowl. There's kind of a week of like nothing happening.
You're talking about basketball?
But no. Oh my, no. It's like NASCAR, man. NASCAR.
Okay, I'm from the Pacific Northwest. Okay, I have no idea what this NASCAR thing is.
Well, I don't understand why that's an excuse. You are so as if being from the Pacific Northwest just excuses you from being a human being in so many different ways. And not just you, I hear it from everybody that lives in that area. It's not as if you're just going to fall off you.
It is.
I don't have a NASCAR track in my backyard. I watched on TV, and I'm pretty sure you could do the same.
Yeah, if I had cable. Or if I cared.
No.
That's really what it is. There it is.
I used to watch it, but I always get a stiff neck.
I just get dizzy.
Get dizzy. Well, I tell you.
Or I listen to that song, "You Spin Me Round Round."
Yeah, for 3 hours. I'm doing this.
Not to put Mitch's introduction off too long, but look, stock car racing is nothing more than cars going in a circle. Just like football is nothing more than fat guys running into each other. Just like Olympic level ice skating is nothing more than just it's like all of these things. If you boil it down and you have like a childlike perspective on it, it's like, okay, that's all that is. That's all it is. But it's all in the nuance. It's all in the detail. It's not until you really understand what it is that makes it so special. That these are the best. And so, if somebody says, "Hey, they're just going in a circle," I say, "Well, okay, yeah, sure." I mean, and the thing is, you have to like get into sports. You have to get into it with somebody that knows it. Like I enjoy hockey, but I don't really watch it by myself. If I knew somebody who's really into it, well, I would enjoy it because they would have insight, and they would help me understand what makes it special. What just happened that what makes this so unique. And so like you get a level of appreciation when you're around people that appreciate it, whatever it is. And so people who don't enjoy NASCAR, I get that. Okay, sometimes you have to be around a person who enjoys NASCAR to really kind of understand the nuance, what makes it special. So, yeah, if you're not into it, it's cool. It's something that I enjoy. And, of course, anybody who's ever listened to the show longer than 5 minutes knows that I'm constantly wrenching on something. Unfortunately, it's usually not for fun. It's rarely for gain. It's just to keep my life afloat. As it is. But, that's something that I enjoy. And so anything that has an engine in it that goes fast, I mean, that's totally my gig. So football is over. I loved it. It was a great season. I'm into NASCAR, and man, I love baseball on the radio. I love hockey on the radio. Everything. NASCAR, man, it is me in front of that TV, and I will watch a race a few times just to see all the things that I missed.
Very nice. That's cool.
All right.
I was just giving you a bad time. I have sat down and watched some NASCAR races.
Well, that's what you get.
I know, and I deserve it. Every bit of that tongue lashing.
Hey, we're going to harass Tim. Well, pack a lunch. It's going to be 20 minutes.
All right.
He'll make you pay. But anyway, I'm glad to be here. I'm totally amped. Loving it. On to Mitch.
On to Mitch. It's been a while.
Yeah, and now I'm not knocking NASCAR because I have watched it a few times and I've gotten into it a little bit. I mean, I have my favorites. I don't watch it, but I kind of pay attention to what they're doing somewhat.
You strike me as a Dick Trickle fan.
No, I like Matt Kenseth. I liked him. I think he's from Nevada or Vegas, but I can't tell you what he's doing. And I know Gordon retired, so people ain't gonna have him to complain about anymore.
Oh, you know what? No, I'm going to complain about him so much because now he's in the studio. He's helping to call the races, and it's like back in the car. I can't stand your voice. You sound like a rat.
I don't know why people knocked. I mean, because when he was winning a lot back in the day, people were jealous. That's the way it is. I don't know.
Well, you have to have. It was. You have to have these. Way back when it was Larry Bird and Dr. J, right? I mean.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You created these arch enemies, in the sport. These people that contest, Peyton Manning uh, or Brady, right? You have to.
Right,
It's
right,
it's yeah. It's always like him or her. You kind of create it, and so at one time, it was Dale Earnhardt or
hmm
Dale Earnhardt Senior, or well, here comes Jeff Gordon. And I mean, the two were polar opposites, and the fans they attracted were polar opposites. It created drama, and everybody, anybody that had any money to make off the sport played into it, and I think that's kind of where it was. You were either a fan of this or that, and at the time I wasn't a fan of either so much. I just like the sport, but
But
that's
really,
kind of what it was.
I'm a football, baseball guy by heart. That's
Yeah,
it. And then when I'm not doing that, into tech somewhat.
tech.
Yeah.
That's what we do here, isn't it? We should probably talk
Yeah.
about that. It's a
Yeah.
show.
I even
Show almost over.
I worked on
Some time left.
what's that? Yeah,
We
we
have
got some time.
some time left. Okay.
I had a I got a PC that I worked on probably several times before in the last 5, 6 years, whatever. It's a HP Slim line. It has an AMD processor. It had Vista on it, 3 gigs of RAM, hard drive dead on a door now. I mean, except for the clicking noise. I mean, nothing would see it, right? And the DVD player, burner player would not open. I mean, I had to get a pin to open it every time. So it was like two things wrong with it. But me, because I have plenty of stuff laying around all the time and good stuff, I found a good hard drive, and I found a 80 gig hard drive. I said, let me put it on there, and because I had some legal copies. What I put a legal copy. I still have several left anyway of XP of Windows 7, and I put it on, and I'm having trouble getting the updates. I mean, it's taking exceptionally long reading up on it. So I'm not the only one, but if you download this file, download this file, put a lot of updates in it, then it'll start pushing out the others, which it did. And but I'm saying, that's only an 80 gig hard drive. Of course, half that, with everything installed. So let me look around. So I found a 500 gig. And let me back up a little. No. I found 160 gig. Sorry. And those things I can't do it in the BIOS because I can't put another hard drive in there. You can only hook up one, and it won't recognize. You can't boot up from a thumb drive and that. So
Oh, I see.
So I'm saying, let me see what I can do on Windows, because with the Samsung migration software, you can clone your drive with that in Windows, but it only works for Samsung. Anyway, so I did find something. Actually, I had it on one of my computers. Easiest to do backup,
Mm-hmm.
and drop something. So I dropped my mouse. So I installed that, and I did it in Windows, and it worked fine, cloned fine, and it only took about 45 minutes. And with USB, hooking up via USB, and you install the software. So I put the 160.
And that was just to go from just that was just to get it to a larger drive. Was that it?
Just to get it to a larger drive, correct.
Okay.
And but this drive, I didn't put it back in. I have it outside the case, but I have hooked up. I mean, I just only ran Crystal Disk. I didn't run C Tools. I usually like to run like 3 or 4 different ones. It's passing, but the thing, it had a lot of hours on it, and the thing just got really hot. I can't remember how old it was, but it's super hot. I was just felt. So then I had a 500 gig, but I found. Tried to clone that, it failed. I only tried once. It just said couldn't copy a sector. But
Okay.
I guess there was a spot in your record where you can copy everything. I didn't check that. I don't know if it made a difference or not. Bit by bit, whatever.
Right.
But I had, in this computer I'm on now, I had 120 gig SSD, but I upgraded to that, a Samsung one. I said, I'm not going to use that, right? And so let me clone it to that. And the couple that owns this, it's like this couple I work with. It's the guy's parents. They're like they're close to their 80s, right? So they're not going to put a lot of stuff on there, even though it's a 120 gig drive. So let me clone it to that which that worked, and had a thing to optimize it for SSD, and it worked, and you can definitely see a difference, even in speed, in opening programs, booting up, and it's like completely silent except for the little teeny CPU fan in there.
Hmm.
So, but now my other challenge was, because it's like really compact in there, and it has a caddy, you attach the regular hard drive to. Well, of course, this is so small, it's not going to attach. Well, I drilled 2 holes on the side so I could at least attach 2 screw, there 2 of the screw holes,
Sure.
and that thing's so light, That's what I did, and so I'm done with it. I'm going to bring it back tomorrow. I mean, you can get a little bit of more life out of a 6-year-old machine. It'll be fine for them. And they're coming from Vista to Windows 7, and now it's got the Windows 10 update if they so choose to do it if they want to.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
So that was my my little. Oh, I upgraded. I have that Asus laptop that I got back in July. Well, for some reason I thought it had 2 hard drive bays in there, right? I went to Micro Center. I got a 250 gig SSD Samsung. I put that in there, and thought I was gonna use a regular spinning drive, and the other one, but it only has the 1 bay. So like to kick myself. Anyway, I used it and I cloned it. That thing is so fast. It'll boot to the login screen like 7 or 8 seconds. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like I was telling Martin, once you go SSD, you don't want to go back. So anyway, so that was my fun time the last week or so.
That's awesome. Hey, speaking of, because you said that you couldn't boot from a USB device.
No,
Is it a BIOS limitation?
Yes.
All right. So what you need is plop.
Yeah, I know. I know there was something that you can do, and I forgot what it was.
You need plop.
But it worked fine. All right. Because I was going to use Clonezilla, or I never used that before. But there's a ton of stuff out there. I mean, free stuff. Like the limitations with easiest to do backup, it's going to clone the size of what you're cloning. So, and I think with the full version, which I do have a version on here, you can't extend it. But all you got to do is just go on Windows and extend the partition.
Right.
It was fine. Martin.
Yes. I'm here.
What's new with you?
Wow. Sorry, if people were watching live, I had to take a phone call there. Gosh, let's see. One of the big thing that's new is that we've kind of talked about this on and off on the air here. I deployed the WatchGuard firewall into the school last Wednesday, so it would have been a week ago today. So what they had was working for them. They just needed a simple router. So they had a TP-Link RV like 6,600, something like that. It's just a VPN router. The throughput on it is 120 meg, so it's not crazy big. They have a 100 meg connection, so I didn't think we were going to be going over that. But you have so many connections hitting that router that over time, and what I mean by time is really a year and a half. They implemented Chromebooks. They went from no Chromebooks to 60 Chromebooks, and everybody knows that Chromebooks are all just completely web-based. So the network took a huge hit. So what we were finding was happening is that as users were just jumping on kind of first come first serve, you're just trying to cram a whole bunch of water into a small pipe.
Yeah.
People were getting, the overflow was just not getting connected. They couldn't go anywhere. They would not lose connectivity. They would show they would have connectivity. They just couldn't get internet access. You reboot the router, it would refresh everything would come back up. So last week I walked in at 7:30 in the morning. I'm going to shout out to Matt Rainey, our good friend, Podnuts Pro alumni. He walked me through. I got the router on a Tuesday, called up Matt Rainey. He walked me through a couple steps. We worked together to get the router all set up. I just am so impressed with WatchGuard. I've used them before in the past. It had been a while. Man, it just works. It's super simple to set up. Very, very easy. Really enjoyed it. So set it all up. Took it there Tuesday morning. Plugged it in. Turned it on. Ran into one hiccup, and this was totally on me. Their inside network is different. They're using a 192.168.0.IP address,
Yeah.
and so, but normally when you do that, of course, you do your 255.255.255.0. They needed to expand that, so they were actually at a 254. So when I put it in, only part of the network could get out to the internet. It's because I had the wrong subnet in, and it was dropping half the subnet. So I quickly fixed that, got that back up and running, and today went in there and they said, you know what, it had resolved a lot of issues. They didn't have to reset the router at all, and the throughput. So we thought about going to the XTM25. So the throughput on the original router is 120 megs per second. The XTM25 is 240 megs a second, so that'd only be a double the increase. The XTM26, 540. So we went 4.5 times bigger, and we went that way because we know that we're going to be adding more Chromebooks coming up into the future, and when it comes to internet, you're only going to use more. I don't think you're ever going to use less. So
That's an Obando law. That should be written somewhere.
yeah. So they are happy with that. I did, and we only had one other issue, and this is just, I think it's a configuration issue, and it has nothing to do with the WatchGuard. I'm starting to deploy Open Mesh at this site, and right now we have one Open Mesh router there, and it's just strictly for the Chromebooks. So it's on a public network. So it's actually on it's getting a 10 dot from the Chromebook from the Open Mesh access point, but so it's completely separate, and I used that same Open Mesh device to put the public and the private on it. Well, what was happening is the network in that one section for that one teacher was really, it just wouldn't connect. It wouldn't stay connected. She was always having connectivity issues because right next door was another router they have AeroHive routers there. So they have an AeroHive router which has the school network and then the guest network, but then we had the Open Mesh that was just the Chromebooks and the school network. Well, for some reason, the school network kept dropping, having a lot of issues. So last Wednesday when I was there, what I did is I said, okay, I removed the school network from the Open Mesh, made the Open Mesh strictly 100% Chromebook for just the Chromebooks, took in the other AeroHive that we had removed originally, put it back in her room, turned it back on for the school and the guests, so I completely separated the networks, and she's had no problems. So she has been struggling, solid issues, no problems for a week. All of the users are now able to get online. Internet is hopping. I was getting 100 megs right off the bat as soon as I plugged it in. I just did a speed test, and so I just super impressed with WatchGuard. Very super simple. And the next step for wireless, because the problem with the AeroHives is throughput as well. They don't take as many clients. I think over the summer I'm realizing that the idea was to originally kind of replace AeroHive with Open Mesh devices, but if they're stepping on each other and they're not working correctly, I think we're just going to do a big swap. We're just going to say, okay, all AeroHives out, all Open Mesh in, and go that route. But that's going to be a summer. That's going to be a summer way because we just spent almost $700 on the router. So, but that was
working.
Yeah. Oh, it's totally working, and it's
working. It's working. You can look at the future. You say, okay, I see we'll have to address this issue, and the way we address it is probably this, and put in your subconscious. And as time goes, your subconscious might kick it out and say, hey, remember this? That might work better, and get some time. And it's kind of a long range thing, but it's like, whoa, right now it's working. Stop.
Right.
That's where you stop.
So
that's
been my big win. Now, what I also like is that because I got talking and I was looking at some of the WatchGuard, and I'm like, well, so what we bought for the school, they don't need any of the other security, but in the WatchGuard you can buy your a 1 or a 3 year basically maintenance for the device itself. Okay, updates for the device. Well, then there's the security suite, which is things like content filtering. You can block computers on the network. Like it's kind of everything you would do with a firewall, but more. So I was talking to Matt and looking around. Apparently, that same structure is the same on home devices. So whether I bought this $700 school one, if I want to mess with the security suite, I can buy the cheaper, I can buy the home version one, and it'd be the same interface, same security suite, same everything. So my next plan is I'm going to go ahead and buy a home one for here, which is much smaller because I don't need that much bandwidth through their throughput, and start messing with it in my home. Kind of finally narrowing down a device that I can say, okay, if for bandwidth computing, this is the router we're going to recommend, and then get to know that router, get to know that model, get to know that infrastructure inside, outside, upside down. That way when I deploy it out to clients, I can just be on top of it and not have to worry about, well, maybe I'm going to deploy this one or that one. Kind of come to come to an agreement of what devices I'm going to manage, what device. Well, I'm going to manage everything, but what devices I'm going to suggest and deploy when clients ask me. And I think that's a good tip just all around, because you seem to be you're more efficient. You get a chance to just
that's it.
push
It's
it
about
out. So
efficiency. It's about efficiency. Yeah, that's exactly it. And when you know the thing inside and out, yeah, I mean, if 85% of clients can use this device, then not only can you be more efficient in deploying it for them and maintaining it, but any problems they're going to have, it's not a head scratch when it comes along. You're anticipating it because you kind of know you know the device. I tell you what, I had this thing. I was helping this guy out with these webcams. And it's like over here. The man's got, this man has 3 stores, and he has the same DVR at each store. So if one has, it's like I hit one and boom, boom, the other 2 are. Well, this man over here, his 3 stores, he's got a different one in each one, probably whatever was cheapest at the time, and it's a hairpin experience each time going into it, because it's like, obviously, this is like a break fix call. These aren't clients where I recommended something install it. This is just like, hey, I need you to come in. It's not working. And so whenever you can generate some consistency in the things that you're working with, not only does it benefit you, it benefits the client. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
And it gives you I'll tell you what, it gives you a choice. You take the opportunity to find what you believe is a good value and it's a good device. And so sometimes when you have to recommend something on the fly, or you have to come up with an answer quickly in the research, you're probably not going to find the best thing. Maybe you will. You might get lucky, but it's time to plan ahead. I congratulate you on working toward doing that. Anytime you can, it's that's a very, very good thing. Same thing with, of course, my end, it's a lot of hardware but geez, when you finally arrive at a really good supplier that treats you well, you don't have to go around ordering parts from 25 different people. I mean, if I can get 95% of my stuff from that guy, I don't care what it costs. I mean, it's like I'm going there because that's the best choice. It benefits me. It benefits the client. So.
Right. Well, the company I ordered this from is called Virtual Graffiti. And so here's the scenario we ran in with this company, and it was recommended to me by a friend, and so I went onto their website, and they actually have a site called GuardSite, GuardSite, and what they've done is they've purchased all these subdomains for all of their products that they use. Maybe not all of them, but the majority of them. And so I went on the site. I talked to the guys, and so we back and forth about pricing and about what it comes with and getting a PO and everything like that. So I ordered the part, and the guy said, okay, 2 days, he'll order it, free 2 days shipping, he'll give me a tracking number. Great. He got sick. I didn't get a tracking number from him. Ended up talking to another gentleman. He did some research, called me back and said, here's the problem we ran into. Our vendor is out. That we are, like our warehouse or somebody doesn't have this part anymore. It's back ordered. He says, so here's what we're going to do. They turned around and they called WatchGuard directly out of Seattle, Washington, and they called them. They ordered it directly for them, and then my company that I ordered it through, they ate the free 2-day shipping. They ate the cost of that to get it to me for 2 days. They said, we'll pay for it. We're going to eat that cost. I'm like, those little things like that, whether you are a big company or the smallest company, those little things like that, you're going out of your way for your customers will remember that. And I'm just like, yeah, that's awesome. So, who am I looking for now when I go to look at other products? This company, because they've treated me so well. I had never bought from them before. This was the very first time. So it wasn't I wasn't a long time loyal customer from this company. They didn't know me from Adam, but they called me directly on the phone and talked to me one-on-one to get some information. So, Brantley in the chat room had asked about the Chromebooks, because I just mentioned that, and he says, with the schools and the Chromebooks, what kind of applications are they using them for? Teachers only or students as well? I hear it's going to the schools a lot. Just wondering what the actual use scenarios are turning out to be. So this school is a Google school, and so there's a lab set of Chromebooks. 8th graders are all 1-to-1. 6th and 7th graders are you can bring one if you have one. When they come in, I get them. I join them to our enterprise, so we manage and monitor and maintain the Chromebooks. The students are there; they're students, so when they leave, we can unenroll them from ours. But what that allows us to do is put restrictions on the Chromebooks themselves, as well as, because their email through Chrome or through Google, we can monitor those. But what they're used for is, the school had shopped around and found that, now this is a private school, just to get that out of the way. The school had shopped around for textbooks and found that the price of textbooks on a Chromebook, or a e-device, if you will, was more expensive, but their revisions came out, and those revisions were included in that cost. Whereas instead of paying $200 per book every 7 years, they paid maybe $300 per student, and then they got updates every year. So all the students do all their work on Chromebooks. They share with the teacher. The teacher then can log in through her Google account. She doesn't have a Chromebook. She's got a full laptop that she can log into her account. They can grade. They can talk. The students can work together on this. So they're using it that way. My son and my daughter both are in Google schools as well. They both go to public schools. My son does all of his math homework on the Chromebook. Everything's online now. So both students and teachers are using it for interaction, as well as writing reports and then turning it in, which means that the amount of paper and the printer use at that school has gone way down, because all of these students can type up their documents and they submit them all via electronically to the teacher. Now, if the teacher prints them out, that's on her, but the students are not printing them out.
You mean you guys don't use a Ditto machine?
No. Is that the hand one? Oh my gosh.
It smelled so good.
Oh yeah, no, we don't have one of those.
It was creepier than most of my bad grapes.
And it comes out like all blue and cold.
Yeah, but it smells so good.
I remember those. So that's what they do, is they're and now
I hate the future.
And now next year, they went 1-to-1 with 8th grade at the beginning of this year, and by Christmas it was, okay, when are you going to go 1-to-1 for the rest of the school? So they're already that's when the 7th and 6th graders came in, and next year it's probably going to be 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th all on Chromebooks. And so that is one of the reasons why we had to up our networking game so fast, is because in a year and a half we went from everybody handling fine traffic easy to, hey, we've now implemented almost 100 Chromebooks, and we're saturating the network. So that's been my big win.
Better call Martin.
Well, it was one of those things where we couldn't figure out what it was, and and then I just was seeing the router. We thought it was the Google connection, or not the Google, but the Comcast connection. So we did some messing with there, and then it was like, yeah, that kind of helped, but not really. What really gave it away was it went down. You'd unplug the router, wait a couple seconds, plug the router back in, everything would come back up. It would work just fine until it got hot and died again. So it's like, it's probably the router. So.
No, that's like your ad. It's like, oh no, internet's slow. Oh no, better call Martin. And you just you just fly in. Like, I'm so super, I don't even need a cape. You're just like, zap, new router, and everybody's happy again.
Yep, that's the plan. So far,
you just come in. You got the cloud on a leash. You're just dragging it behind you.
Yeah, it's more like the dark cloud and above my head. Following
you. You're crazy.
So, what else happened? I had a client who so if you've ever done any kind of DNS changes to either email or websites, usually you want to do them. If you're going to do a email and a website change, you usually want to do baby steps. You know, you never want to do a big step DNS change all at once, just because so many things can break. So I have a client, and they wanted to do email now and DNS and website later. So we got talking, and we've been kind of going back and forth on how we're going to plan this out and stuff. And it kind of came down to the person who, the company that they're using, kind of is their name server. They kind of took everything, and we went to them and said, you know, this is what we'd like to do, but I want to work with you to do it because we need to do it in steps. And they pretty much came back and said, that's dumb. If you're going to do it, just do it all. You know, we're not going to allow you to do it in steps. Mitch, do you want to say something? No, okay. You came close, so I wasn't sure. So we ended up having to do everything last Friday night. We Joe Mesman, who's a listener here of Geeksters, him and I. So Friday night I made all the DNS changes after hours. It went smooth. Now I'm changing both the MX records for mail and the website. The website's going to be hosted by me. The mail is going to go to Hosted Exchange. We had all that set up, and we made the change. And Joe and I went in. Monday morning at 7 a.m. and then worked with all the users to get their email moved over to the new Hosted Exchange. They had some old Office 2003. We need to upgrade them. So we had clients being upgraded from 2003 to 2016. That was kind of a shock for them. There is a huge interface change if you're going from that over that span. But everything seemed to go really smooth. A couple problems that Joe's working on with just documents in 2003 opening weird in 2016, and I think that's just because of the way the old documents are working. But the website moved over. We had no problems. But I wanted to Matthew Rodella. He's been on Geeksters before. He's your friendly neighborhood computer guy. Him and Paco LeBron get on there and do some stuff. Well, Matt has a site a job, and now what he's done is he's really focused a lot of his attention now on website, especially WordPress, and I needed him to do some stuff for me, and he jumped right in there, and actually Matt Rodella worked a lot on the Podnuts website, the new Podnuts website. So, but I just want to, he helped me out a lot. So if you guys are ever looking for any kind of website design, things like that, check him out. It's ALEDOR.com. ALEDOR.com is his website, and yeah, you can just tell him you heard about it on Geeksters. I'm not sure he's going to give you a discount or anything. He may hang up on you, but but you can let him know you heard about it on the Podnuts network. Yeah, it's been I got my employees working on Repair Shopper. We're going to get that going here. We had a big move a couple days ago up at a client of mine. Went fairly smooth, a couple of hiccups, but yeah, things have just been for Urbano Computing. Things have been steady and just chugging along. Nothing that's knocked me down too much that I can't get back up from, which is good. So yeah,
no more. Don't say more.
I won't say no more. Knock on wood.
One more word. You have to pay for it.
I think I will.
No, it won't.
Wait, what? Oh, what?
Well, can I? Since we got some of these brainiacs in the chat room there. I want to ask a question. What I was talking about before the show, Martin, about I'm having this problem since we got on these Windows 7 machines at work. I don't know if anybody's familiar with RPT files, report files. We use our warehouse management software. It'll generate. We run these reports and it'll generate copies of them in a text file, but they're RPT format. I mean, it's an RPT extension. So before, when we go to open it up, it would open up and use like Windows Explorer, right? Now it's not working on these new machines. And see, I mean, long story short, I would open these files up and save them to a text file, and then run a database and access. It cleans everything up and it sends me Excel email with in a real format. It's all with stuff we have in a warehouse, sequentially, real pretty. You could do it manually from the text file. It'd take you hours probably, but anyway, it will not open up. We try to link it. I mean, we try to associate with other files and it just messes it up. And it's only happening on well, me because it's only me and my boss are doing this. So he got a new PC. His is like that too. So it's just not opening up the RPT file. And before we could open it up, save it as a text file, can't do it anymore. Not the way we did it before. So yesterday I was on a remote with our help desk, which is in May. I work in Maryland, and the help desk is in Mason, Michigan. That's where the headquarters are to my company. 3 hours with this gentleman, and we didn't get anywhere. Well, I probably got further than what he did, but it was crazy. So if anybody knows anything about RPT files, why I can't open them up, natively without associating with a different program than what it's supposed to be, let me know.
So you can't just right-click and say open with?
Yeah, we tried everything, but it wouldn't save it in the right format, and it was it still has to be. But you run Access. We made the database, and it just clean everything up and link all the different tables together, different. But we can't even get it that far. It's just not working right. And luckily we have some of the old machines still hooked up. Somebody's going to get back to me. No one got back to me today, but yesterday, 3 hours. The guy was remoted into my computer work. Other than that, everything's working fine. It's fast. I mean, we're coming from a dual core to these i5 Lenovo Think Centers. They're a little small thing, but it's really they're nice PCs. I wouldn't mind having one here actually.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if one fell off the fork truck.
What was that, Tim?
It'd be a shame if one fell off the fork truck.
Well, we don't have one on fork trucks. We have them in the office.
Well, it'd be a real shame if one fell off the fork truck. It would be a real shame.
That's not going to happen.
Look, Mitch. How do I say it? You don't hurt computers, okay? But sometimes computers get hurt. All right?
I'm not sure what you're trying to say.
That's it.
That's right. I'm not. Hey, look, I ain't saying nothing. Is what I'm saying. I mean, look, a man didn't see what a man didn't see, and I didn't say nothing over here. Just sometimes things happen. Yeah.
So I did buy a new keyboard though. I don't know if you guys can see it. So it's, and I'm kicking myself. So this is the Logitech.
Huge.
Well, though it's illuminated Logitech K740, and it's so quiet. That's what's cool about it. Is it's got a really nice quiet key. And then today, 925 Toys, the number 9 TO5, the number 5 TOYS has this keyboard. It's now on sale at Amazon for like $50. So
you pay more, huh?
Oh, I paid a lot more than that because I needed a keyboard like right now. So I went to the local store, picked it up. So I feel bad that I bought it. But if you're interested, it's a nice keyboard. It's quiet. It's a little big. Like it actually, you mentioned it, Tim. It actually is a little. It's big. The keys are far apart, so I had to get used to it. But it's lighted, which is odd. You can turn the lighting part off. It has a little.
Isn't the backlight nice though?
It is. It's so I can work in the dark. I can sip on my Earl Grey tea, working in the dark, and have a lighted keyboard. It's cozy.
So you replaced that with your little $17 one you got from China?
Well, no, I wasn't using the $17 one. I was using the wireless. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I just had to throw that in there.
Oh man, I deserve that one.
Wow, you doofus! Well, Jimmy, Chris,
Alvin's got that little one.
Swinging, Mitch.
I keep on saying I was going to get that little one. I haven't though.
Well, I use that one. I use it downstairs in my media center.
I just rather go to Micro Center and get what they get there. I don't like ordering anything online.
People stealing your credit cards?
No, not yet. My wife, I don't know.
No. Well, speaking of things that are sometimes a little frivolous and buying stuff online, I don't know how I came across this news article, but Medford Mail Tribune is a news agency, and the Medford Mail Tribune. Medford is actually a small town in Southern Oregon. I actually was raised in Medford, Oregon, just outside of it, in a little town called Jacksonville. Anyways, came across this the other day, and I just had to mention it here on Geeksters. Woman sues for $8.3 million. That's with an M. $1 million after plastic grocery bag broke. So this lady. So this lady is suing a grocery store because her 1.5 liter, and it actually is in quotes here, Magnum bottle of Barefoot Chardonnay wine broke through a single plastic bag. It fell on her foot and her ankle, and it shattered, and she's suing because it's from Albertsons. I don't know if you guys have Albertsons in there. It says they were at fault because Albertsons was at fault because the wine wasn't double bagged. She wasn't offered an alternative to carry the wine, such as a plastic bag or wine carrier, and the checkout worker wasn't properly instructed. Okay, so why is she suing for $8.3 million? She said the lawsuit she suffered as an incomplete fracture of the ankle bone, a cut and bruised ankle, damage to the muscles, ligaments, tendon, nerves, and other soft tissues of her legs, ankles, and foot. She also required multiple spinal cord stimulation surgeries to treat her complex regional pain syndrome and also left shoulder pain from using a crutch. She's seeking non-economical damages. For pain and suffering of $4.2 million, plus nearly $4.1 million of economic damages from $74,000 in medical expenses, plus expected future medical expenditures and loss of earnings. But I just love the fact that she bought a ginormous, big old bottle of wine, and it fell through the plastic bag and hit her, and she's suing for $8.3 million.
I walked away from the computer for a moment. Who is this? Was it your wife? Who is
No,
this?
yeah, if it was.
I just started making assumptions. Is this your
No.
mom? No. Who did? The lady
No,
at your church? Who is this?
No, there's just a lady in a little town, Southern Oregon, called Medford, Oregon. So she's suing for $8.3 million.
Hey,
Did she spill coffee on her too at McDonald's? Was that the
No.
same woman? No.
No, different woman. This is she bought a 1.5 liter bottle of Magnum Chardonnay.
Magnum.
Chardonnay.
So I stepped over to my bench machine because as long as we're showing off keyboards, I have my favorite keyboard in the whole world over there.
Well, that's the problem. Is I had one of those, and that's what I was going to use for tonight, and then I was like, no, I can't do that.
Oh, there's no way. I mean, there's a reason it sits over there, but I love my 30-year-old clicky keyboard.
That's what I have.
It's like, I can't even type. I can't even type, but it feels like I'm doing something. Like I'm getting things done.
Does that have what connector does that have on it?
Oh, it has the old, it's the old DIN connector. I actually had to, I have to get the.
Oh my gosh! Look at that.
Yeah, I had to get the PS2.
Check
adapter.
that out. If that isn't installed, there's Tim's Corner right there, folks.
Look how old this one is. This is the same thing, an old Dell, but I like it.
But does it beat Tim's old? Gosh,
It makes noise when I hit it.
Well, yeah, but
You can hear it.
but it's the creme de la creme of Tim's laptop is that it's using that old function. I can't even remember what that keyboard, that style is called.
What was that one? It had a serial connection or something? The big round thing. What was
Well,
that?
yeah,
I got one of the.
Oh, AT connection. Is that what it is?
I can't.
I can never remember.
I can't remember. I don't think it's a AT connection, but it was a. Because I believe it or not, I got a computer to work on like that, a real old one to work on at one time.
You guys can't even hear me type because I'm.
No. But your mic has something to do with that too.
No, it's not the PS2. It was before the PS2.
Before the PS2.
Brantley says it's the AT connection.
It is AT connection.
I don't know.
It might be, but I thought they called it another name.
Technically, it's a DIN connector, DIN. 5-pin male, 180-degree DIN connector. And that's I'm reading that from computer. I don't actually know.
Oh, Brantley, yeah, yep. He put. We should keep arguing about it because now he has, what was that 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 300 exclamation marks now in the chat room. I think
I need to.
my family turned on the heater. It's like 90 up in my room, in my office now.
Am I missing exclamation marks? Oh, it's 18. The I need I need my dual monitors back. There are various DIN connectors. The 41524 circular connectors, often used for audio signals. The 41612 rectangular connectors used to connect plug-in cards to a backplane or motherboard. Oh, and the 41652, one of my favorites. The D-sub miniature connectors used for computer data and video. So there you go.
Sounds like I'm listening to an ebook right now. But anyway, no, it sounded good. I have
well, I tell you what, anybody that wants an old clicky keyboard. Matter of fact, you can even Google this. AQ6-Maple Z15.
Really
it's
thick.
I have a filing cabinet full of these. So not that
I can.
I'm selling anything or anything, but it's like, these things. It's what the thing about tech, the gimmick is, well, I guess most things, but the tech things come and go so quickly. Anything that is currently out of favor and kids make fun of it, just buy it up by the truckload and just put it somewhere, and in 20 years it'll be the coolest thing ever from like some retro aspect. And that's what tech is. And so anyway, these things, I'm sure I found like 3 boxes of them. Somebody just probably gave me $20 to haul to a dumpster. And I thought, I'll stick them over here.
Am I allowed to say hi to anybody out there in TV land or YouTube land?
I think so.
Who it is.
In person?
Well, yeah.
Like who's going to stop me? Now I want to say hi to a friend of mine. He's watching.
Donald Trump.
I've known him for probably 45 years, 46 years. Hi, Brandy. Hi, Brandy. We were.
For you guys in the big war?
We grew up together and we used to play guitar together. And look what I found. Look, Brandy, remember this? I found the tape. I got to put it back on CD though, the Hard Times tape. So, of course, I'll put it down. I won't remember. I'll lose it again. But anyway, this is from like 1980. This actually it says 2000, but I think it's older than that. But anyway, I digress. Sorry.
No problem.
Sorry.
Hi, Brian.
No problem. So I know we're coming up against the clock. Mitch, ideas?
Do I have an idea? No, you wouldn't. If you come to my website, you wouldn't want anything. Wait a minute, I don't have a website. Why did I say that?
So guys, we're gonna have actually kind of a short show tonight. So I apologize for that. But if people want to get a hold of us, Mitch, what's the best way they can do that?
See, that's you didn't stall enough.
Sorry.
You didn't stall enough. Why don't you come back to me last? Because
All right.
I got 80,000 things open on my desktop.
All right. I'll go. My name is Martin Obando. You can catch me, Martin at ObandoComputing.com. I'm Obando in the Google+. I'm Obando Computing in the Podnuts chat room. Thanks for hanging out with us. Tim, if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way they can do that?
I wasn't ready. I didn't know.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go to Mitch. I'm not ready.
Go. Okay, Mitch. If you want to get a hold of you,
All right. If you want to get a hold of us, I got the wrong page. I'll give Tim a real good laugh today.
Okay, Tim. If you want to get a hold of you, back to you, Tim.
That's awesome.
Here-
I'm Tim Bauermeister on the Google Plus. You can find me there.
And there's a reason why people don't want to get hold of me.
Are you ready now, Mitch?
No, they I think they changed it up. I think it's changed.
Podnuts.com.
Wait a minute.
You can email us podnuts@podnuts.com.
Oh gosh.
Then there's some phone numbers you can call us. I don't know what numbers are called.
Here I got it.
All
it.
right.
Hold on. You can reach me, but I don't know why anybody would want to reach me, but you can reach us. It's not here. It's gone.
All right. We'll figure out how to. We'll figure out how to get
I
it.
just can't remember
Something Podnut.
Something. Yeah. There's a number and there's an 8 and there's something. something else in there.
I have it in a text
Try
file
all
somewhere.
possible combinations, you'll finally get us.
All right. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us tonight. Hey, thanks for, well, I just said that. Anyways, don't forget to be gruntled. We'll talk to you guys later.